people. It's in the back of my head. Okay, that was a bit of a mess up. Let me just fix this up and so you guys can see my. That's better. You guys can see my mugshot now. Good morning, everybody. How are we all? Evening, depending on what part of this globe you're on. Um, who do I have still here on the chat? Let me have a look. We got Ian Ricard. How you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. I know it's very early in the morning with you. Derail Daryl, I suppose it's good afternoon to you. Curly Express, White, how are you, buddy? I suppose it's evening, getting early evening to you. Ron Moen, how are you? Who else do I have here? Scott, you're Billy, hopefully you're still here. High Plains Drifter, nice to see you here too. Oh, excuse me. Lee, fantastic to see you here, buddy. I know it's very early in the morning for you too. I don't know how you are, but I mean, it's going to be another stressful week on with things what's been happening on between in with the UK with the royal thing. We do celebrate some of that too, and we do are feeling the pain here too. So, my sidekick on this that normally joins me on this morning is running a little bit late. Um, Doing some sort of retirement construction clean-up work. You know how it is for those people who are retired. Um, there's always some sort of job that you pop up and you've got to do. Gene's a real good night out he is. I've got to give him credit. I mean, thank you very much for making the effort to come on to the show. I know it's like what 2, 3 o'clock in the morning your time at the moment, so yeah, that's pretty early. Okay, before I go a bit further on, I don't know if there's many of you guys here that are into the World Cycling, Road Cycling Championships. That's a group of guys with, I think it's called UCI Cycling, Global Racing. They fall into part of the group that do the Tour de France and the big races. They are currently in my town, so if you guys want to see the vision of Wollongong and its surrounding areas, and some of the areas you guys will probably already know it because if you looked at some of my earlier live streams from 12 months ago, you were there. So you can actually see these guys on the push bikes racing up and down the mountains. I waited for some rain to happen so I can go out and take some video footage of them sliding out of control because with a bit of coal dust on the road, it's like being on ice. So, hey Sparky, how are you? G'day Ken Amos. Nice to see you here too. So that's what's going in my area, so I'm not going to be travelling out too much. It's been another nightmarish week for health for me, so fortunately I've got another week of hell looking towards me, and now we've got a public holiday thrown in on Thursday, so it's going to be a very challenging week on this side. I'm struggling with the pain as well, so I'm not really doing that much with the modelling side of it. I have started cleaning up the layout a little bit. My apprentice train driver failed to attend this week, so we could get rid of some of the rolling stock off. Let me have a look. So I've still got all these stuff here to remove in the coming weeks. You can see, you guys can see this area here now is all completed. I've got all the concreting down and the asphalt down. The boys have got that's all done, so that part's finished. I'm still going to be putting fuel bowsers and whatnot where that locomotive is, but that's going to come down later on down the track. So that is done. Let's see, Randall's Run, just done a bit of a tidy up. Now, I'm using Randall's Run still for the time being to operate some trains and experiment with the signalling system from Atlas. But as you all know, some of you might know, I want to keep this section now. I don't know whether I'm going to be keeping it as a display on the side somewhere, but I think I found a home for it, which is going to be above my desk here in front of me. So it's going to get slightly modified below the camera. So it's got like a passing loop, a little siding. It's going to be the end of the line. It's going to be a branch line. That's what I'm planning on doing. Small passenger train, small freight train, engine runs around, and it goes back in the main system. This will get pulled up when I start doing the main section. So that's the update on the layout. For now. G'day, Jeff. How are you, buddy? Nice to see you on board. Who else do I have here? G'day, Great Divide. Nice to see you in here again this week. Morning to you. Thomas, how are you, buddy? Good morning, or good evening, good afternoon. Thank you, Sparky. I haven't seen it yet. You should be a moderator if you like. If you wish to, Sparky, you're welcome to add your link on so people can get to it. I won't be. I'm not planning on attending at this stage because I'm still dealing with the issue with the visa waiver, and I cannot get to see anyone in the embassy in Sydney, talk to them face to face until 1st of May 2023. So I wish to be there, but I'm not booking anything because I don't know what's going to happen. Yes, thanks, Shane. Yeah, that cattle pen or stock pen or whatever you want to call it, I actually kit bashed that out of 2 Li-Fi kits. I don't think I've got any boxes. I guess I do. Come on. So what it is I've kit bashed 2 of these kits together to make 3 pens. And because of small space I had and wanting to get the trucks to fit to be able to load and unload, I'm slightly modified it. It works in nicely in there, and it's a removable seat. So there you go, guys. Go. Fit. There you go. There you go, guys. Sparky's put the link up there. If you can make it go. But what I've seen from the Strasbourg meet and greet, it's going to be a lot of fun. As I said, unfortunately, I cannot commit to that. I will be going. I know at this stage I'm definitely going to Europe because I know I'm not going to have any restrictions going to there yet. Yeah, it does look good. I did also paint it. I did paint it to a dark brown colour. It looks pretty good. It fits in nicely. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of other structures. My next project is going to be, before I start the next level, um, is the rent house which is next to me. That is being modified. I need to. Okay, I'm gonna try to. Don't know. Actually, I'll use the other camera. Um, I use the other shaky cam that was sitting on top of the layout, so you can see what's going to happen here. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, so that's the rent house there. Now, what's going to happen here is this wall's going to be taken out, and this door here is being removed because what's happening is in this corner here, as you can see, it's overhanging. So I'm going to remove this one and move that wall up to here, and that's going to give me another store there. But by looking at the measurements, I can put another track in there for storage. Now, eventually, I think it most probably this track here is not connected at the moment. This is actually going to line up onto the other desk that I'm going to have here to work on. So when I finish with the train, I can put it on the track and send it down the layout. So that's the next project. This is coming up. This section here these are coming out. The pits are going to be put back and put in with the lights inside it. And while that's out removed, in this corner here, I'm doing, I've got to put the top brace for the next level, steel brace, and draw in some conduits down the back where the main bus wire and whatnot goes up into the next level. So that is what is on the plan. So I'll put the camera back up here so you guys see my missing layout. Hopefully it's not going to fall over. Am I hosting another? G'day Joe, welcome on board. Yeah, Sparky's hosting another party, so yeah. Anyway, things are going okay at the moment, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a link on because it's not a wacky weekend unless we get some people on board and have a bit of a BS chat going on. So yeah, that's what's on the agenda. I've got I finally found the lights. I know how I'm going to do it. I'm still deciding whether I'm going to use the bright LEDs in the pit, like what I have for the diesel shed, or will I put the dull ones? Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, I did that. There are some video shots and earlier on how I did that, and what I did is that's the proper. Let me see if I can remove it. Yep, I can. So the way I did mine, is I used a white pearl as a start to get the mud work going in the brickwork, and then that took a little bit of time, and I used oh, acrylic paint and what artist paint. Or let's see, do I have a tube within reach? No, I haven't. And it was very watered down, and I just went over the tissue, whatnot. It took me a bit of time, and then I just layered, the weathering. It's a combination of paint and, to me, powders. And I think, and humble, it came up reasonably good, I feel. And it gave me the worn out finish that I wanted. And I can still reuse it, still a little odd jobs, odd detail to be put on it, but I'll get that done at a later stage. I just got to work at the warrant. And I've also done the inside. The inside's not so dirty, it's not so wet as yet, so I'm happy with it. So yeah, well, we have got someone who just turned up. I'll let him in and we'll say hello to him.
Hello.
Hello, Eugene. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. In the middle of the night. And I'm very impressed about your layout there.
Thank you. I'm trying to get there. It's just been a struggle. Look, I'm not feeling the best at the moment. I'm having problems with my thumb and my right hand, which is giving me a bit. G'day, Caboose. How are you? It's making it more challenging because the thumb at the moment feels like it's going to fall out of the socket. There's a problem with I can't think of what not the ligament. There's a vessel there that provides lubricant for joints.
Yes.
And that is compromised at the moment in this part here. And that's all due to the compression that I had in this part here after the accident, where I was waiting to get surgery and it was compressed for too long. So there's damage with the palm of my hand up in here.
So is it the feeling that you lack, or is it the mobility that you lack?
The mobility at the moment in the thumb.
Okay.
I haven't got the proper feeling in these two fingers.
Yeah.
And according to the surgeon, because of that being compressed for so long, them two fingers, I'm not going to get my proper feeling back again.
Oh, that's a shame. Especially if are you right-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Okay.
And that is not completely all. The people in fault for this is my insurance company. They're supposed to be looking after me. They were arguing the case that it wasn't a result of the accident. So that's where my issue is, and I'm trying to do my best. My shoulder at the moment here, even though I've got operated on here, this part here on my shoulder is aching like it feels like someone's got knives in and jabbing into it. So I've got a surgeon's appointment in another 2 weeks, and I'm going to tell them, look, there's still something not right up in here. There's something being missed. So, but I'll still pot along. How would you say? I'm a fighter. I'll keep going as long as I can until I can't do anything anymore. And there's other problems going on too, which is thanks to the insurance company. And I'll tell you what, I just feel like the hell that put me through in the last month. All I feel like is doing is just grabbing him by the throat and just neck and just bringing it.
Okay.
I don't know, Jeff. I don't know where it is, muscular or not. It could be, but we did have in the shoulder from the wreck. I had about 14, 15 tears up in the shoulder area. So he had a big operation in this. But the pain that starts here goes up into the neck and then goes
Yeah.
down your back. It's not the neck causing the problem, it's this muscle here. And it goes down into the back of the ball and socket in your shoulder. That's where the problem is, up in the back here. So maybe it's taking its time to heal because I'm not a young chickadee anymore.
I'll say neither of us are that. So
Yeah, well, I've got that global disease that everybody else has got. Everyone's got it. There's no cure for it. Well, there is, but it's not a pleasant cure. And it's called getting old.
yeah.
That's the one disease that we can't. There's no cure for. There's no anything for it.
We had a
Go on,
sorry.
Jen.
we had a philosopher in Denmark. He said that getting old was that one day you wake up and you don't feel any pain, and that only means that you are dead. So getting old is considered
Yeah.
with pain, unfortunately, but it comes to us all.
Jeff, it might be something to do with the nerve that is up in behind. When they gave me that cortisone injection, they hit right near the nerve, and it starts. It's hard to say, but roughly where my hand is up the back, that's where it's starting from, because I hit the nerve. But because we were arguing to get it done, maybe it's another one of those permanent damages. Hopefully not. I can imagine, like I've got my layout down, but I'm laying on my back and trying to work up on top like this. That's a bit of a struggle, but I'm doing the best I can. Let's put it this way. I've been through worse. Let's put it that way. I've been through worse. And we adjust. We got a problem, Gene.
And that is?
Yeah, well, there's somebody being slack on the job, I think. I don't know if you noticed.
Oh, well, he could take time off, couldn't he?
Yeah, well, you started it. You've done your part, and he hasn't done his part yet.
Okay. So you blame me for him being absent?
No, not for being absent. I know what he's doing for being absent. That's not the part I'm talking about. I'm talking about the hypochlorite container.
Oh, yeah. But I have sent it to Delmhorst, so they should ship it further on.
Well, you send it down to him. It's his turn now to be shipping it, but he hasn't showed us nothing. It might be stuck on his dock somewhere.
Yeah, it must be. But then perhaps we should ship it some other way around the world.
Yeah, I think so, because I've got the guys, one of the local trucking companies down here nearby. We've got 3 hypochlorite 40-foot containers in the yard there, and they're waiting for Anthony to do his part so we can actually get them to do their part.
Yeah. I'm looking so much forward to see it coming into your yard there and seeing the work's done on it.
Well, exactly. We do have 3 down here. And I'm going to get the footage of them working on it, so I will add it on to I will add it to my video once it gets done. I think we might do from Anthony to me, and then from me to the US. Or then again, we might send it to the US and then to here. But that's up to Anthony which way he sends it.
Yeah, I would say I wouldn't dare send it as the situation is so in Europe, and especially with the big neighbor to the east, I
Yeah.
wouldn't suggest sending it by rail in that direction. Then it will disappear completely.
Well, we'll have to put it on a ship. I mean, there's still stuff coming in by ship through the Suez
Yeah,
Canal. So,
yeah, but you know, they at a time they made a decision to what they call the Silk Road, you know, from China with rail shipping all the way through Russia and Middle East and to Europe.
oh yeah,
It,
that yeah,
yeah,
know
they
that.
started to do that, but I don't think that's a passable road right now with everything going on in the world at the moment. I'm
Yeah,
just
well,
joking. We are
yeah,
playing.
yeah. I know. I mean, yeah, we don't know what's going to happen there yet. I've got a
Uh,
feeling that's going to be over soon. I hope. I hope.
let's all hope that. Let's all hope
Yeah.
that.
Um,
Isn't there anybody else joining us tonight? Is it just you and I that are going to have the chat
well,
tonight?
nobody wants to chat with us. Nobody wants to hang out with us. So I think we're going to have to call it an early night tonight.
Okay, then I have stayed up in vain. Then, if you're calling it at the end already.
No, I'm not calling it an end yet. I just said an early night. I didn't say how early we're not.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll put a link up there again if anybody else wants to join in.
May I give you a suggestion? Why don't you fix it at the top of the chat so that people can always find the link? Can't you do that? You know, the link to StreamYard, if you put it as a fixed position at the top of the chat all the time?
I try not to because if I get bombarded too much, you'll just
Okay.
throw things up. I've got the internet working nicely at the moment in my training room. So I suppose I can get another two more on here. Oh shit! Now we're not going to see. Got to be careful what we wish for because
Okay.
all sorts of things pop up.
That's nice. Hello, Sparky.
What do you mean some things pop up? Or lots of things pop up?
G'day, John. How are you, buddy? Nice to see you on board. How are you, Sparky? Haven't seen you for a while, buddy.
I have been busy with life in general and work, but every once in a while I get a bit of a break. So
I tell you, life's been a real suck off for me for the last 3 weeks, and I've got another week to go. But I'll get there. I'll get there. As they say, there's more than one way to skin a cat. And if you're determined to get something done, you don't give up. Don't ever give up. There's always a way to get around a problem. Even though my little
you've been fighting with that passport thing for a while, haven't you?
I've got the passport. It's not the passport the issue. It's the visa waiver. It's the visa waiver. Like you got the visa waiver to come into the United States as well.
Yeah.
We're on the same program. And that's where the issue is. I cannot talk to anybody. I've sent them countless emails. I even went up to the embassy to talk to someone. They say, no, you got to talk to someone, you got to send them an email. They're like backside, mate. Hey. So that's what my issue is. Nobody wants to take the responsibility, and they send me through all these departments, and they go, no, not my problem, not my problem, not my problem.
Sounds like you've got to go to a Congress member that you actually voted for and say, hey, man, you need to help me.
Me might not be an American, doesn't help in that way, but yeah, it's going to get political. I do have lawyers working on it, and I'm just waiting to hear from them. But I've got financial restraints for another week or two before I can actually make a phone call to the US. Yeah,
I hear you.
which is unexpected from the insurance company, and I need to get that sorted. Well, it's been sorted out. It's just a time factor. That's the problem. That's the only thing that's stopping me. I can travel to any country in the world except the United States.
Well, I wonder if you could come to Canada and then get over the border that way.
I was thinking that. But
But Archie, if you did that, I think you'd be in more trouble, because if the border authorities stop you between Canada and United States, then you are considered an illegal immigrant. If you do
wait a minute. Well, yes and no. Yes and no. The whole issue would be is the people that need to deal with the issue are at the border. You see, it's Homeland Security, and Homeland Security have got people on the border.
Yeah.
They are not contacting me back either. I've got all the documentation, everything to clear me for that little computer error. Only problem is for me to get in, because I was going to do that, Sparky. I was going to come in through the Canadian border, United States border up near Toronto, there near you. But it was $3,500 return ticket.
Yeah, it's not cheap, that's for sure.
It's very expensive to come in through Canada. Well, go to Canada from Sydney. So for me to get to Mexico, I've got to go to Argentina and walk my way up to Mexico and then come in through there. Because our most direct way into Mexico, we've got to go through LA. And to get through LA, you need the visa waiver. Hey, Roy, how you doing? But I'm not going to lose any sleep over Sparky. I'll get dealt with. I have got an appointment with the US consulate on
You said it was in May.
next year.
Well, I will say one thing, Artie. Like, if it's a last-minute decision type ordeal, like you all of a sudden you can get on a flight and stuff and come over. And I'll tell you, when we did Strasbourg, there was a lot of guys that rented a caboose, and they were the only ones in it. So there's tons of room when people come to these things, and there's always extra beds available, and everybody's.
I'm not committed to it. If it is going to be a last-minute thing,
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to book that part of the journey. But if it does happen, I'll do it and go to Europe through United States first and then pop over to Europe. I do want to go to Europe for June. Because I can get in there with no hassles. I don't know what these sides are going to do to me, or what they're going to do, or what they're not going to do up here in Sydney.
Everybody's just saying just crash Sparky's place. So
I'd love to go to Sparky's place. I'd love to go. I've got to look. I've got a friend up on the north part of Toronto.
Hello, everybody.
To,
Sparky, Sean, Artie, good evening. Hello, everybody in chat.
stop yelling at me, Daryl.
He's had a haircut.
That's probably me, because Daryl's very loud, so it's going to echo back on my mic now.
It's okay.
Yeah. So, g'day, Daryl. How are you?
I'm good.
That's better.
As I said, I do want to do an overseas trip next year, so I've definitely booked in. I've definitely booked in to go to Europe. It will be the 30th anniversary of the death of my fiance too in Bosnia, so I might actually go. I'm going to go over there and do that. Hello, Nancy. How are you? No, we don't need to send them Mars. We need to send them way further. Mars is still too close. But we might not going to talk politics at the moment, Nancy, because if I start doing that, I'll be kicked out of here for life.
Yeah, we shouldn't talk about going to Mars either, because I know I can't afford that trip. So,
Sparky, what Sparky done? Sparky has a caught in the train shed. Well,
so Sparky, let's hear this trip that you're planning.
Yeah.
Well, shouldn't you guys just go over and watch the video?
Oh, I already watched the video twice, but since you're on Ozland, I'm sure everybody over there wants to hear it too.
And apparently I've been saying it wrong too. I've always said Greenlee, Colorado, and it's Greeny. What is it?
I say it the same way, Greenlee.
Yeah. And I always thought that's what Michelle said too, but apparently there's no L in it. So Greeny or something. I forget it. I have to go back on the comments and see what they said. Where is that? Yeah, you keep saying Greenlee, Colorado. I hope you mean Greeley, Colorado. Maybe it's Greeley. I don't know. Either way, it's well, where'd you guys go? You might still be there.
We're still here.
Oh, I know you are. I just hit the
We
wrong
still
button.
see you.
Yeah, I know. I just can't see the screen anymore. But anyway, yeah, if you can fly into Denver or something on the Thursday, Michelle's going to open up her backyard for us because everything's going to start Friday morning. And we're planning on a lot of private tours, private museum tours, behind the scenes tours. Of course, the Colorado Model Railroad Museum. We're working on the UP Steam Shops. We're almost guaranteed we're going to have Ed Dickens show up and do a meet and greet with us, but we don't know if it's going to be an official one or if he's going to show up unofficially and just hang out with us in the backyard, have a barbecue and a few drinks and stuff. So
what kind of barbecue are we going to have?
well, I'm sure it's just going to be hot dogs and hamburgers type thing like that. It's just going to be in Michelle's backyard, so it's just the unofficial meet and greet. So Artie, you kind of know about that because you were at the last one. So
yeah, well, kind of.
Yeah.
My face was there.
Exactly.
I showed my face to that one.
Yeah, and that's all that is. A bunch of us all get together and hang out and have a few drinks and talk about anything and everything type thing. It doesn't have to be trains, but it's a great time. So
yeah. Well, if I'm not going to be there in person, I suppose my face will turn up there again anyway. So
and as you saw, we had a great time. Rick did a live stream with your face running all over the place. So great community, great group of people. And the biggest thing, like I've always done it in Pennsylvania. So like the last 4 that I did was all in Pennsylvania, Steamtown, Strasburg type thing. So I'm going to move a little farther to the west. I guess this is more central for the U.S., but it's something different. And I want to go see the Colorado Model Railroad Museum. So
we're going to have to, when things settle down a bit and everyone gets a little bit more financially stable, which will happen very shortly. We just got to adjust our ways. I was thinking about maybe we'd do something for over here, for you guys coming over here into Australia. As soon as the things and as I said, fares and everything else starts settling down, and we can do something here in Sydney. Because there's a lot of places up around here. We can go organise a few tours on the 5917. And it's got some wonderful tours. We can have the whole carriage or two to ourselves. And they got compartments, so you don't have to book the whole carriage. You can just book out 2, 3, 4 compartments. So that's something to look at.
Evening, gents.
hey, Randall.
Hi, Randall.
Great divide. What's wrong with New South Wales? We have great trains outside of Sydney. We will exclude Sydney itself. We'll just bulldoze that. But towards the outskirts, you've got Thilmere Railway Museum, which is pretty good. We've got the Golden Railway Museum, which is near not Sparky's place, near Creepy's place. And that museum's coming up. Then you've got the Canberra Museum. I don't know if they reopened the Canberra one or not. But there's plenty of places around. There is also Zigzag Railways up in the Blue Mountains. Yeah. And I'm just trying to think of that other one, the Roundhouse, where the Sydney Electric Railway Society have actually taken the old Roundhouse. I can't think of the name of the station now, or the yard. They've taken that over as a museum as well. There's plenty to see around here. Up in the Blue Mountains, we've got the steepest railway in the world. I mean, this railway line is actually steeper than the ones in Switzerland. And it used to be an old coal line. Um, oh, okay. Okay, now this is something I'm going to have to make an effort for. When is it on Great Divide? I missed the last time when it rained out. Now, we still got some old streamliners here, which is basically your our locos that look very similar to the E9s, and of course some of the 44 class and whatnot. And it's a roundhouse, and they did do a thing there. It's a fundraiser. I think it was for the Children's Hospital. I'm going to try to go to that. It was very similar to what they did down, I think it was Norfolk Southern done that with streamliners in the US many years ago. You guys remember that one? Randall, do you remember that one when they did the streamliners? Yeah,
Not right offhand. That's actually out of my area. So I know Trains Magazine had a big article on it here a few years back on the streamliners. So unfortunately, I don't remember the exact date that they have it on. So,
okay. Now, Sparky, you're really stretching a friendship there with mentioning that M word. You're really stretching a friendship using the M word. And let's put it that way.
I took a trip over to Australia probably 9 years ago, and it started in Melbourne, and we did the Great Ocean Road and the helicopter through the Apostles and the gold mine. What town's the gold mine in? Spent a lot of time.
Ballarat.
Yep, Ballarat. Spent a lot of time around there, but there was one little village that we kind of went through, and we stopped and stayed there, and it had a train line right beside it. Cannons on a hill with an old boat sitting there, and
don't get me wrong. Melbourne has got some nice spots, and they've got a very nice museum.
But the reason why I like Melbourne so much is there was a restaurant there called Sparky's, Sparky's Pizza, and you go in there and you get the Sparky Pizza special, and it was the spiciest damn thing you could ever eat. So,
well, it's probably gone now. It's probably shut down and gone. The others are probably.
Yeah, he closed down during the Showstoppers. So
yeah,
I still stay in touch with a couple of my friends that are in Melbourne. So
I don't know, Container Man. I haven't had the opportunity to look into it. I mean, your airfares will be roughly, if we pick it up towards, look, even if you pick it up around about May, in the May, like when you normally have a spark, you can have it here. Airfares from US, like the West Coast, works out roughly about $900 return. And that's Australian dollars. So if you convert that to the US dollars, that's roughly about $800. Yeah, well, the airfares have been a lot cheaper. I can get from Sydney to Spartanburg. Well, Spartanburg. I average out roughly about $1,700 return, and that's Australian dollars. So there's good deals. The best deal is with United Airlines and whatnot. But if we're going to be serious about it, when things settle down, I will do some homework. Um, there are a few people around here that I will talk to where we can get a package deal and I can get a coach, a proper coach bus. So we've saved on car rental. And a few guys with a few places around here for accommodation. And we can make it a good package deal. It'll be like a package tour. I haven't done one of them for a long time, but try to do it as cheap as possible and try to get it under the $5,000 mark.
And that's the big thing, Artie, about the meet and greets and stuff like that. You got to get some numbers behind it and then some real commitments, and then try to do package deals type thing. And you can get things a little bit cheaper. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we can do that, and it can be cheap, but I need firm numbers. I mean, to make it worthwhile, we'd need at least 20, 25 people at least to make it work. If that gives you guys a bit of an idea. I need to get through this ordeal first before I can, and my personal problems, before I can concentrate on arranging it for later on down the track. But it will be a good trip out. I'll tell you that now. We can do it from Sydney. Sydney's got a lot of good places around here. There are some places where we need to travel for 2-3 hours, but we can make fun of it.
See, and I was always told stay out of Sydney if you were a tourist.
Well, I'm out of Sydney. I'm not in Sydney. I'm an hour south of Sydney. Sydney's not too bad, but it's like with every city, you know yourself, Sparky, and everyone else. You have your places where you got your do not go zones, basically. You don't need a container man. Jesus, just jump on a plane out of LA or San Francisco, and man, I'll pick you up from the airport here. Or it's not, I'll get one of the trucks to come and pick you up. But we all have areas where you do and don't go. The heart of Sydney itself is expensive, like food-wise, accommodation. So if I do organise something, it won't be in Sydney itself. It will be down the outskirts. I'm roughly about an hour and a half train drive down in the south. I've seen it's a lot nicer down here. It's affordable. We've got better looking beaches. We've got better looking women on the beaches too. We've got the mountains. We've got the bushwork. We've got everything down here in what Sydney has, but it's nicer. It's more laid back. It's not a rat race. Yeah, what can I say? Yeah, something for down the track. Okay, I'm yabbing a lot. As I said, I'll get through this first, and then we'll look into it and work on a plan for that. Eh? Okay.
Quite all right. It's also a very big coordination when you look upon the different places of the world that you come from.
Go.
Well, exactly. Like for you, in regard, what would it cost you in American dollars wise? It will cost you probably about $2,000 to come down this way.
Yeah.
Over $2,000 for you to come down here. But I mean, I suppose we can all chip in and pass the hat around and raise enough money to get you down here.
That's very kind, but I'm just considering traveling half the way around the world. You know, I'll definitely prefer to meet you somewhere in Europe first. Not that I'm afraid of meeting you in Australia, but I don't have any plans at the moment to go to Australia.
Well, there's one way that you've got to look at it this way, Eugene. I know you're used to the cold, but your winters get very cold up there. That's a good time to come down here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you
you
don't,
still need a passport, Roy. Yes, you still need a passport to get in here, but you'll get the visa waiver. And the whole thing is, we're not as mean and nasty in helping you sort out your visa waiver. If something goes wrong, all you got to do is pick up a phone, make a phone call, and someone's going to help you out. Go via our spiders are not that dangerous. I mean, you've got more chances of being attacked and eaten by bears or being shot in the United States than what it is getting bit by a little spider that we have here. What can I say? Or crossing a road in the United States is dangerous. I mean, in Canada, what I see, they're pretty wide up there too. You don't have to worry about our critters. Our critters are not. Yeah, we do have the top 10 deadliest animals divide, but we still hear. Yeah, but yeah, drop bears do not come out. You know yourself, the drop bears do not come out when tourists are escorted by locals. They only come out when you have people that are trying to be locals. There are little spiders, Thomas. There's a lot of them floating about at the moment. You can just see them flying past. You just see a little web going flying past you. But yeah, look, our critters, you don't have to worry about it. You see me walk in the bush live already a couple of times, and you don't see the spiders, you don't see the snakes. 9 times out of 10, they hear and they go the other way. So what I'm telling you, there's people in the bush and not these people, Great Divide. We won't leave these people. These are good folk. It's the others we take in the bush and leave them in there. Now these ones are okay. These people are good. Yeah. But if you really want to get serious, we'll just take them out to the bush, out to the outback, and we'll give them to the yowie. The kangaroos, are they mean? Well, Mike, will you get mean if I start hanging around your missus as well, especially when it's breeding season? Of course they'll get mean. But no, they're normally no trouble. They see you, then 9 times out of 10 they'll bounce away, and as long as you don't go chasing them, you'll be right. What was that, Randall?
I think we got something coming here. I can see some headlights or reflection of some headlights to the north. So,
Is it the police officers coming to move you?
no, I'm actually in the yard. I'm actually all good and legal. So, I think we got a train maybe coming in. So,
You might actually have to go to work.
Yeah, but Roy,
actually, the other yard van's sitting down there. He'll probably wind up taking him to the hotel. There's actually a steel coil train coming in from the south that I'm probably going to have to end up assisting. One of their DPs is actually turned off. So they're going to have to stop here at Thayer and refire that DPU up. So.
yeah, we might have the deadliest animals, but I tell you what, like any animal and any creature can be deadly when you play with them the wrong way.
You got to figure the wild animals in Australia are the same as wild animals anywhere. They're more scared of you than they are of them, or whatever. But they're going to run away from you first unless you're actually threatening them or chasing them. So
Exactly right. I mean, I've got spiders around my fence yard here, and I did have some brown snakes, but I got rid of the brown snakes. And I don't have any lurking about here. I don't want the brown ones. Black ones, the red belly blacks, they're fine.
Yeah, Guzzy train coming in.
But I do have.
Hey, Artie, Thomas had
Yeah.
a question for you. He wanted to know if koalas taste like chicken.
I don't know. Never tried it. Great Divide, what do they taste like? I haven't tasted a koala yet.
Well, for all you NS
Yeah,
fans, this
that's-
thing's got
that's
an
what
NS motor on it.
Oh look, there's a train. It's a real life train. It's actually running.
hey, Randall, is that scale trains or Walters?
That would be the lead motor would be scale trains. They probably all be scale trains at this point, Sparky. But yeah, for all you NS people, there's a NS motor right there in the middle. So
It's one a bit too far west.
yeah, BNSF interchanges with NS at Memphis, Tennessee. So more than likely, that's where this train will wind up. So.
Hey, Steve 87, how are you, buddy? Yeah. I mean, you look what happened to Steve Irvin. I mean, he was playing around with something he shouldn't have been, and probably annoyed, and that's what happens. But I mean, yeah, we got no issues here. I've got little spiders around here, but I live and be. They're happy outside. I'm happy inside. I don't have a big. They do me a favour, keeping the mosquito and the fly population down, and I'll leave them alone. No Sandico. No, it's not Sound Thomas. It's not Sandicotas who got ripped off. But yeah, it's like anything. You get used to it. I mean, you've got creatures over there that are just as bad and more deadly than here. You got more creatures over there that go hunting than what our creatures do. Let's put it that way. I keep saying they're going over that again and again and again. Okay. The rattlesnakes taste like chicken. Yeah, I suppose.
No, trackside Mike, I don't have any black widows. Just in the corners of the garage.
Red bellies, redbacks, which is the sister or the counterpart of the black widow. I haven't seen any around here for some reason. Yeah, that's right. It does too. Right, it does. It does taste like pork. That looks like.
If you don't mind, I'll just say good night because it's 3:00 in the morning here.
Okay, Jean Ricard, thank you for joining.
I'm not interested in flora and fauna of Australia, but I feel that my eyelids are a bit heavy at this time.
Okay.
So I'll be leaving you. Stay safe.
Okay, John. We'll wake you up in a couple hours when we're done with the stream.
Okay.
We'll just shout at you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night. Thanks for
Here,
coming.
John.
It's always a pleasure having you here. Excuse me. Once this madness of cycle race is over, I do want to go up along the railway line that I travel on. We go through the Royal National Park, which is the second oldest declared national park in the world. The first one is Yellowstone National Park in the US, and then you have the Royal National Park in Sydney, and it is actually our oldest one in Australia that's declared as a national park. And you go for a train ride through it. Now, there's two trees that you see up there, or talking about flora and whatnot. We have one which is a plant which is a waratah, and because we had that fires not too long ago, and we had all this rain, they're blossoming. So I'm going to go up there and get some shots of that. In the next coming weeks, because it's now coming in the spring, my area's got another tree around here. When it starts to flower, it gives off all these red leaves, red flowers, but it's the red. The leaves look like red chili peppers, all hanging down off it, and the whole tree just goes red, and we call it the Illawarra flame tree. Even though it's a weed and a pain in the butt, but it's nice to see when it starts flowering up. So they're about to flower. We do have some interesting scenery down through here. Okay, hobby shops down here. There is 3 or 4 good ones up in Sydney. I can throw that in the tour. I've got the main guy that I go and see, which is Sheila Hobbies. If I rent the bus, it's going to be good because his shop's right at the bus. His store is right at the bus stop. Then you got my railroad craftsman in Blacktown, Sydney.
That's already put their bags in my vehicle here.
He's
Yeah, I can run and get them right quick.
All right.
I'm gonna mute camera off already because I gotta make a run to the hotel.
Yeah,
Or if you want, you just drop me back in the basement and I'll come back on here in a minute.
Yeah, okay, but okay. Basement. We'll get that. I'll sort that out. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of interest. The scenery gets very, very interesting during this time of the year, and I enjoy going for the train rides here. Oh, that's right. We're talking about hobby shops. Sorry. We got Moderator Craftsman. He does deal with a lot of DCC components. He is getting bigger range of Australian products. He does have some second-hand stuff. There is Woodpecker. He calls himself Woodpecker. He mainly deals with a lot of British trains. And he does have a room a little bit bigger than what I've got here for second-hand stuff as well. And you might do occasionally get some second-hand American Australian stuff from him. And there is another store which is Australian railway shop or whatever. I can't remember the name of it. It's only open on Saturdays. And they're pure Australian Atmon stuff. So I can always throw them in the tour as well, so you guys can spend some money after we had fun running around. Buy yourself some Australian souvenirs, so to speak. There's plenty to see and do here. And then who knows, maybe the following year or a couple of years after we do that, we can do a trip down Melbourne. If it still exists. The way things are going down there, but yeah. Any comments, Daryl? You'll be pretty quiet tonight.
Yeah, you were whining earlier. Nobody was coming up, so I just decided to come up.
Oh, okay.
Here I am. No, buddy, you're just talking away. It's your show, honey. I mean, you talk away. I mean, you were talking about people coming to Australia.
Yeah.
I would love to go see the Great Barrier Reef. That's on my bucket list.
That's up north. I tell you what, it's overrated.
Well,
It's,
maybe for people who aren't interested in marine biology, but I'm interested in it. It's a beautiful. It looks like it's a very beautiful place to go dive, and you know,
oh, it is. The best time to go. The best time to go up there, right, is um, say end of May,
yeah.
and by end of September. That's your best time to go up there, and the safest time for you to go up there, um, because mainly you don't have the threat of great dear white. There's nothing wrong with New South Wales, except for one place, Sydney. It needs to be bulldozed, it needs to be blown up and start all over again. That's the only problem with New South Wales. Um, sorry, let me put him in. I'll put him in the naughty corner soon. We've got a rivalry between New South Wales and Victoria, or Sydney and Melbourne. So, and I believe Great Divide, by his comments, he's from down Sparky's place, favourite place, Melbourne. Great Barrier is nice. The middle of the year, say June, July, is the, oh, you're at Queensland. Okay, well, all right, well, stop. Well, you stop behaving yourself, okay? Now, we've got different rivalry with Queensland, and that's our two football teams.
Yeah, Steve 87, it's PSAP, says exactly what I was thinking. Shark Week. I've done that off the coast of Catalina here. Little
well, we
shark,
got sharks here too, but
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, and that would be one of the things. That's down to way down at the tip, though. Am I not correct? Where the great whites are usually abundant.
we got more great whites around where I am.
Oh, okay.
We've got a lot more great whites around where I am, but I was involved with an organisation here that done beach patrols, and our specific task was to do shark spotting for swimmers out of fixed wing aircraft during the swimming season, during our summer season.
Yeah.
And we did
Yeah,
do
believe it
our
or
own.
not, my son and I, a couple weekends ago, we went surfing out at Huntington, and we actually saw a couple sharks out there. But it's just natural habitat, you know.
Yeah, that's the main. But I'll give you a tip and this is for other viewers that want to go in the water and afraid of sharks. Two times to avoid: morning and evening. Morning is when sharks are coming out for breakfast. Evening, when the sun going down, the sharks are coming out to have dinner.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the other thing is, when you go in the water, we have actually noticed this. Don't dress like what Daryl is dressed now, in black.
Yeah, I look like a
Because
big giant seal.
exactly, they
But that's
actually have
okay.
special,
The
special with
neoprene that we're wearing is pretty bright.
yeah, yeah, and they have done a study of South Africa, which
Yeah.
is
Exactly.
they won't go for bright colours. They'll go for anything that looks like food. Yeah, we have got great whites. Well, I have got great whites down here. We've got some big ones down here. Up north, you've got big range of different types of sharks up there too. Occasionally, you'll get the great whites there too. So, yeah, it is a true story, Mike. It is. It is. We have some grey nurses down here. Grey nurses are placid. But hey, when it's spending time, you don't go to water go to whatnot. You do have up near the Great Barrier Reef at the top end. You have got the Savannah, the train that goes out to the outback. It's a narrow gauge. It takes about 2 days to get to the end of the line and 2 days to come back. And the best time of going on that line again is during our winter time. Then show you when you're back to this.
Yeah, but believe it or not, I'm more afraid of stepping on a stingray than I am anything else. Because
Well,
they sting. They
They do, but the water
and the
up there.
jellyfish. Same thing, jellyfish. That's when I'm okay with seeing sharks, the dolphins, or anything like that out there. And that's not a big deal. It's the things that you cannot see in the shallows, like when you're getting off the wave. That's
Yeah.
where they're prevalent.
Yeah, but see, as Great Divide says, during our summertime, especially up the top, it's stinking hot.
Yeah.
It is very hot. We're talking 110 in the shade. And if you're going up near the Great Barrier Reef area and whatnot, the humidity level gets very high. And that, of course, that's our cyclonic season. If you come here during the winter time, yes, and I believe the grand finals is on this weekend, next weekend. The grand finals are after Australian football. We've got the rugby league final coming up in next week or week after. We've got the grand final. Well, that's right, it is. You see, this is what Great Divide in some locations, it's 100 degrees, 110 midnight. And he's not joking about that. It's not exaggeration. Up near the top end, like towards Cairns, Townsville, Mackay, and up around that area, it gets very hot. Darwin, where the Alice Springs railway line ends, I've been in my old yard there at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to have a cold shower, and the water comes out warm.
Hey, Sparky, I got a question for you. What is the size of your train room? I caught a tail end one day, but I wasn't really clear. I thought I heard like 60 feet by 20 feet. Is that correct?
The actual train layout's 47 by 12.
Okay. All right.
So that's everything behind me on that side. So.
Okay, then that clarifies it. Which is fine, whether it's 60 by 20. It's just I just wanted.
The whole shed's 67 feet long, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, then I did hear correct. Then
there is an actual. When I built this shed, the permit was for a shed, so I actually had to have a shed in the back of it for them to pass the permit.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah, he kind of looked at this part and said, "So, what are you putting in here?" And I said, "Lawnmower." He said, "What else?" I said, "That's it. That's all we got right now is a lawnmower." You can put power in this thing? Nope. Lawnmower doesn't need power.
All right, you pull the same permits that we do out here and everybody else does.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, exactly. Thank you for clarifying that.
Split Rock, you'll be able to learn the game a lot quicker than learning the game of American football. There, so you just got to make sure that it's just a full-on game. But yeah, you made a good use of that space that you got there, Spark. Plus, yeah, there's nothing stopping you from running an extension cord from the house into there. So
I was not a fan of the Helix before I actually built mine, and the size of my Helix, and then there was one video I did. I had 5 trains all running, and I caught them all right in this corner. And ever since, it's probably my favorite part of the layout. Just, I can sit and stare at that, and the train's going through it. And even tonight, a couple times I've turned around, and all 4 are sitting right there in the Helix. So,
yeah, that's right. Yeah. I mean, you've got one nice giant Helix, which is the correct way you've got a straightness in the helix, which does make a huge difference.
Hey, Mystic, how are you?
Hello, Mystic.
I don't,
Double
I
barrel
don't,
Daryl's right here, Mystic.
I don't have the room for a helix, so I have to come up with a different idea, an ingenious idea, because I'll just lose everything in a helix. So the plan that I've got coming up, it's going to work out. I believe it's going to work out fine. I have done something similar in the past, and I'm going to do it again. If I had a room like Sparky, would I go to a helix? Probably not. I don't know. For me, they're nice construction, but I look at the club, and you're going to lose your trains. I suppose it depends where you put it too.
That's the thing. When I lose my trains, like I'll get up and I'll look down the aisle. If I can't find my trains, I pretty much know where they are. But
yeah, but the way the helix is, I know with the club layout, you got to get on your hands and knees, and it's hard to access. If a train gets lost at the far end because it's placed in the corner, there's no way getting to it. So
yeah, mine's the same. If you watch, I'll show you how I can get into my helix. But
yeah, you can get underneath yours, but we can't get underneath ours. And we're gonna watch him pop his head.
Wow, Sparky's cut in half like about 12 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's huge. It's just massive. But it is the success of the helix.
Oh yeah. But I mean, you see, the way his helix is, he can get under it. The one that we have at the club, we can't do that. We can't get under it. We cannot get in the middle of it.
How is that? I mean, I've done a lot of helixes, and mine was pretty close to that. It probably had maybe about 12 inches of straightness. It just wasn't enough. But Sparky, how much of straightness do you have coming out of the curves?
Well, you mean right there in the center?
Yeah.
It's about 13 inches, I think.
Oh, God, it looks like a couple feet almost. Yeah, see, I had at least 12 inches of straightness, which made a huge difference in long consist of cars. Of course, it looks like Sparky, he's got like, how many levels you got there, Sparky?
Okay, so it's 2 feet exactly of straight track, and it's 9 levels.
Okay, see, there you go. See, 2 feet is huge difference. And I only had like 3 or 4 loops, and I only had 12 inches of straight track. And it still had a hard time, getting like a 60-car consist. That's why I tore down my helixes. I just said, that's it. I've had enough. I just like to run long trains. That's all there is to it. That's what I like. So,
and that's why I did the kind of like the double. Well, it's basically a big dog bone, right?
Right.
So, and that's what I like too. I got 30 feet of train I can run straight down one side of my layout before it hits a curve. So,
exactly. Yeah, that's like twice the size of the length of my layout.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
You mean you can run a 30-foot lawnmower, 30 feet of lawnmowers down the end of the track?
That was a few years ago. I don't think I have to use that line anymore. But the funniest part about building this shed is I did the designs and everything else, and I had all the windows. So there was window, door, 2 windows on that side, but I didn't have any windows on this side. And a couple of friends come over and we were building, and they said, well, you should have windows on this side for a cross breeze. And I'm like, you know what? That's a great idea. Something's snapping behind me. But anyway, so I put these 2 windows in. And the inspector shows up for the final inspection. We're walking around. He's like, oh, this is a great shed. Not sure what you're going to use that for, blah, blah, blah. And just talking away. And we go back to the back. And he says, oh, you got 2 windows back here. Were they on the plans? And I'm like, no, we added those for a cross breeze. He's like, oh. Well, you have to have 5 feet between you and the property line next door. And I went, what?
Oh.
I have a fence over here. So I pulled out my tape measure, and it's an old fence. Like, I mean, it's falling down old. So I pulled it over, and I got 4 foot 10 inches. And he looked away for a second, and I pushed on the fence, and I got exactly 5 feet. He looked back and went, "Oh, you're good. Don't worry about it." I'm like, "Thank God, because the fence is heavy."
Yeah.
Oh, the tricks of the trade, eh?
Well, it sounds like you have the same rules here. I mean, we have to be actually, well, I guess it would be 5 feet, but same thing for a pool. It has to be 6 feet away from the fence line. And that's just if somebody goes over the fence and doesn't end up in the pool. But I mean, I get that, but whatever. But it sounds like you guys have the same kind of code enforcement as we do here. So. But it's kind of changed in California because the rules have changed. So now people are turning their garages, which is totally allowed. They're turning their garages into rental properties because you can do that here in California now because of whatever's going on, the overpopulation. So you just pull a quick permit and you can turn your 2-car garage into a rentable income. Just like that. Where you were never allowed to do that. Never.
Yeah, they've been doing that for a while here, but you got to meet a certain code and a certain standard to be able to do that. And it's like you can't just put the divides up and say this is the bedroom here, this is the bathroom here, this is the kitchen. You still got to come up with a standard and everything else.
Yeah.
I know my last previous landlord got in a lot of trouble for digging out underneath the house illegally. Hello, Tom. How are you, buddy?
Hello, Tom.
It was the metric feet. He was using metric feet, Tom. Not imperial feet. He was using metric feet. So you've got to get that right. Australian and Canadians use metric feet. Isn't that right, Sparky?
Pretty much. Like everything that we talk and build and everything else is all in feet imperial. The only time we get into metric up here is if somebody wants to be perfectly precise. So if you're like an electrician and want to hang spotlights in someone's kitchen and they have 97 of them, and they will let you be out 3 millimeters, it's pathetic.
So you don't use metric feet. So it's only Australia that uses metric feet.
Yeah, we do use it.
You do use metric feet.
Yeah.
As well as imperial feet.
One's just a little bit smaller than the other one, so.
Well, sort of. Just look at the whole number, whichever is the whole number first.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's on who you're talking to, too, right?
Yeah. Thomas, to use it. Oh, you got it already. You talk. Oh, come on. Oh, really? Good evening. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, Split Rock, you've got to learn to use the metric feet measurement. It is the easiest, the most simplified measurement you can come up with. I'll have to show
metric?
You.
The metric?
The metric feet.
Oh.
The metric feet. Yeah. Not the imperial feet, the metric feet. There is a difference. Yeah. I'll have to do one day. Well, that's right. Great. Why we measure once and get cut twice. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, we all have our way of, would I say, twisting the system? I want to say so much twisting in it, but we all got our ways of achieving our goals when it comes to constructing a layout, doing a train or whatnot. There's always a way we'll find it, make it easy for ourselves. What I do is different than what Sparky does. What Sparky does is different than what Daryl does, and it goes round in circle. Yeah. So. All right. Have we got anything else we've got to say?
Well, I'm just wondering if Randall's going to tell us what the 3 locomotives are.
Well, we got a Tier 4 Evo. We got an NS AC 44 C6M, and then we got Dash 9 trailing. So those are the 3 units on this Z train. So yeah, I wish I could have got back sooner. You guys could have saw the Slinky that runs through here.
The what?
It's a steel. They call it the Slinky, but it's a steel coil, a unit steel coil car train. They're not very long, but they're incredibly heavy. They're only 2,500 feet in length, but they have to have DPUs on them because they're a pretty heavy train. But they call them Slinkies here on the railroad, here on the Thayer sub.
Okay.
So.
Right on.
Interesting. Yeah.
And I was told probably one reason they're called that, the steel coil cars have cushion drawbars on them. So they actually bunch up and stretch out.
There's so back 3820 south.
That's probably this train they're talking to right here. So, but no, it's kind of an interesting little train. Like I said, they're not very long, but they're really heavy. And
Dispatch band 3820 south.
Correct side, Mike. It's 12 inches to a foot, not.
You all ready to go?
12 inches to a foot.
In about 5 minutes, we'll be ready. Over. There's dispatch.
it looks like in about 5 minutes, this train's going to be rolling.
Yep, that's what we heard.
It's 5 minutes too long. Should have been out of there by now. Unless
You'll find out here on the Thayer sub, things don't usually run like they're supposed to.
But that's pretty cool, Randall, that you're there and you can give us a view and let us hear them talking on the scanner. That's pretty cool.
Well, I'm kind of fortunate because usually when I come on these shows, nothing's running. So there's like this big lull in between now. If Artie was on like 2 hours earlier today, there was trains all over the place. So
they're trying to get everything out before the big freeze. It's like here where they get, I mean, there's a lot of freight getting moved up north at the moment before the wet season starts hitting.
We've actually got 2 trains that's very similar to each other. We have the Tulsa Memphis trains and the Kansas City Memphis trains. They're pretty similar in their makeup. The one main difference is the Tulsa trains have a lot more steel coil cars and gondolas in their consists, and the KC Memphis trains are pretty much a little bit of everything. So, and also the Tulsa trains tend to have more auto racks mixed in as well. So, but both trains have box cars in. Both have hoppers of various types and tank cars, but that's basically the main difference between the 2 trains.
Did I say 4 inches to a foot? Depends on which way I'm leaning and how many beers I have. 1 meter equals 3 foot, 3 or 36 inches. Yeah, 1 meter's, if 3 foot's close enough to 1 meter, that's it. That will work out fine. No 1 meter, one. No, you see, I'd scrap the 2.54 centimeters and just go by 1 inch. Yeah. No, forget about the decimal point. I get rid of the decimal point. Yeah. As much as I possibly can. Yeah. We've that's Sparky's got a hot shot running down there in the background. Yeah, I can work on both measurements if I had to. Well, with the trucks and equipment that I have, there's a lot of stuff in it still works. With imperial measurements, and some of the stuff come from Europe and Asia. It's all metric, so really here we've got to look at the both the measurements. And when people say metric is equal to something in imperial, it's like no, it's not. It's totally different. Okay, now enough maths for and no more maths on a weekend, especially after 12 o'clock lunchtime on a Saturday.
Tom's going for it, man. He's hey Tom, we'll just give you a blackboard, okay?
Yeah.
Tom.
Yeah. No, we're not doing any mathematics now. Not until Monday morning your time. So, yeah. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to call it quits.
right.
I'm not going as long as what I normally go. As I said, I'm having a bit of dealings with my shoulder and my pain and whatnot, so I would like to take.
That's okay, Artie. We understand. It's Monday morning over there.
And thank you, Spade, for coming up on the show. It's always great to have you here.
I had some free time anyway, and the trains are just starting to act up now, so probably a good time to drop
gone
off.
away for the night, has she?
Not going to say much about the wife, but she's at the hospital right now. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, she's good, but her dad's in with a heart attack. So.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, they rushed him from one hospital to the other, and he's in surgery right away. So.
Oh, sorry to hear that, bud.
Yeah.
Hopefully all goes well.
Give her my love and hugs and thoughts and prayers and everything else from down here.
For sure.
We are a small family altogether, so. West Colorado, it's somewhere on the foot of a cliff or something, I believe. Yeah. I hear they have a lot of avalanches. No, the avalanches there too.
Yeah, it's actually close to me. It's actually the next county over for me. So.
Oh yeah, it's on the other side of that big hill.
Yeah, it's just right on the other side of the hill. Not that far away.
Yeah. I do want to go up there. There is a couple of nice little towns there. So again, guys, thank you very much for showing up.
Okay, Artie.
Appreciate it, Artie.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good
Good
one.
Take care, guys.
And Serena Lewis, hello. Sorry, but I'm just signing off. And till next week, you guys will have fun. I will try to catch up to you guys during the week, but I've got a busy nightmarish week. So if I don't come to your live streams, please don't be offended. I'm just busy doing real rough crap, basically. So, all right, guys. I'll talk to you guys all later.
See you guys.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Take it easy.